こんにちは。私はエミと言います。And today, I will be answering the question, is WaniKani worth the Okane? Okay. Now let's hop on to WaniKani. So, for those of y'all that aren't hip, WaniKani is a Japanese kanji learning website. Hopping onto the home page, it looks like this. First off, I want to say the graphic design and aesthetic is prime. Kirei. Rippa desu. The first section is levels. So right now, I'm on level 5. It ain't bad. I believe level 3 is a year of kanji study, they said. So I'm at about maybe a year and a half, a year and a little bit more. And you know, the first section, it's sectioned off. So it's pleasant, painful, death, hell, paradise. And then the last section is reality. And I believe at the end, like at the final boss level, you will have memorized over 2,000 of the most essential kanji in Japanese. So WaniKani is split up into 3 different memorization categories. You have the radicals. These are the building blocks of kanji. They look much more simple and you'll be able to spot them out like little Easter eggs in other kanji, right? So this is where we build our foundation, right? This is where a lot of other kanji resources and Japanese resources have failed us because we don't even know what a radical is really. We don't know that the radical for power might be different from the onyomi and the kunyomi reading of power. Person, we see that, but person functions as a radical, you know, so it shows up in other places. Here's an example: inside, from, decide, graduate, sit, etc., etc., etc. So we have to understand that they serve a different purpose, that these, you know, radicals serve a different purpose than the kanjis do. I checked out WaniKani for the first time last year when I was having a very hard time learning kanji. I got a book for memorizing kanji, I got a book for memorizing radicals, and the way my other Japanese language resources, like the book I've been using, and other learning resources, they just weren't cutting it for me. I was not able to really internalize the kanji and understand the kanji. And that's because I didn't really get the difference between a radical and a kanji. I didn't get the difference between the onyomi and kunyomi reading. So a lot of times you'll hear this as on and kun. And these are actually extremely, extremely important parts of Japanese that we have to digest. So unfortunately, learning hiragana and katakana don't cut it. And you find that out right quick. First year of studying Japanese, I didn't really study kanji. I was like, I'll get to it later. But then things quickly became very confusing. Next are the kanji. This is just some of the level 1 kanji. It may be obvious that these are basically the same as the radicals that I just showed you. At least some of them are. And they mean things now, so we have the words for them. These are the kunyomi readings versus the onyomi readings. And WaniKani puts you in a place to know the difference, not just know the difference of what those two things are, but to know the difference of how they function. Those are the kanji. And then there's vocab. So this is onyomi. We're going to onyomi. Like one and person is alone. It means hitori, alone. That's an example. We start getting into combinations, into vocabulary. And I've learned so much Japanese vocabulary from WaniKani. It's like ridiculous. Like, I'm surprised how much vocab I now know, especially like very niche vocabulary. Just continuing with the layout, you have lessons, and these are new. I'm a bit behind on my lessons right now because the new lessons that I've been getting recently have been とても大変ですね. Very hard. And then there's reviews, right? It's not all hard. I'd say you get peaks and you get valleys. So you'll get a bunch of new radicals that are really easy and awesome to memorize, and then you'll get a bunch of new vocabulary of the combination of the radicals, and it'll go back up. So it's actually balanced. I'm just in a valley right now, and that's why I have over 100 new lessons, which is rare for me. Also, there's community forums in WaniKani that connect the Japanese learning community from all around the world to each other. So you can actually right now try WaniKani for free. And that's what I did. I originally did the free trial and I loved it. I was like, whoa, hold up. Why is this fun? You know what I mean? Why is this such a good time? Why am I into this? It's because it's kind of like a video game, more so than your typical flashcards. And it's very well designed, it's very well thought out, and it harnesses with all of the power of its being the use of mnemonics. And it gives you the most incredible mnemonics that you would have never thought of. And I consider myself the queen of mnemonics sometimes, but WaniKani got them next level mnemonics. And they have mnemonical characters for you to memorize and mnemonics that go with radicals. And it's splendid. So let's get into costs. So right off the bat, I can tell y'all that WaniKani is the priciest Japanese language learning tool that I have ever dropped a pretty penny on. When my sensei heard how much it cost to get this subscription, she was like,
"Oh girl, you in it. That's a lot."
That's not how she sounds. But she was just surprised that I would spend so much money of my hard-earned artist money on this subscription. The subscription is $299. With the exception of my in-person language classes with my sensei, I have never spent so much money on learning Japanese. And a monthly subscription is $9. It's $89 for a yearly subscription. I bought the lifetime subscription, which is $299, but you don't have to pay it monthly, you don't have to pay it yearly, it's just you pay it once and it increases in value over time, which I love that option because I honestly really saved up for this. And I can say after being on the lifetime subscription for many months now, I am not at all disappointed. I am very, very affirmed and happy with my investment. This is an investment in your Japanese language learning skills. I also have not been sponsored by them. I'm doing this all just as a genuine review by a Japanese student. Yeah, is WaniKani worth it? Honestly, I think if you're really trying to learn Japanese, if you're trying to learn the muscular system and learn the skin of it, you don't need WaniKani. But if you want to speak it and know it to its core, and you want to get to the bones, you want to go all in, I definitely think WaniKani is worth it. And I don't think that there are other comparable kanji resources or competitors out right now. This literally is in a league of its own. To Koichi and the crew, if y'all watching this right now, y'all got my love. To the Crabigator, I stand with you. Y'all have got me very far, and I appreciate this app. I've been on this site for about half a year, I believe, and I've already learned around a year and a half's worth of radicals, kanji, and vocab, which is incredible. I'm in a place I didn't think I would be so soon with my complete understanding. I'm not like just understanding it a little or half understanding like I was before. I don't feel confused. I feel affirmed. I have nothing but great things to say. So if you really want to deepen your practice and take your Japanese to the next level, I would 100% say try out the free version of WaniKani. There's no risk in that. And you know, once you make it to level 3, which is where I think you have to buy the lifetime subscription, I think it's worth it personally. Just speaking as someone who has been with the site, is at level 5 now. I know people at like level 60 have had incredible things to say, but yeah, you'll have to make that call for yourself, depending on how hard you want to go with your study. That speaks to, you know, just my love of this beautiful language. And I feel supported on WaniKani, I feel supported by the community, and I feel supported by the creators of the app. If you dig this video, please also check out my daily Japanese routine video. I will link that in the cards, I will link that below, and WaniKani is actually included in that. I highly, highly recommend this resource. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please subscribe. Ja, mata!